His body hit the grass, handcuffs biting into his wrists, while children stared in fear and parents whispered in judgment. No one spoke for him. But tomorrow, in the same city, the same man would walk into a courtroom wearing the robe of a judge, and silence would fall like thunder. Full script. The arrest was swift and humiliating. The sun hung low over the park, painting the grass gold, but all anyone saw was a man pressed into the ground as officers barked commands. He did not resist. He did not shout. His silence unsettled the crowd, for it was not weakness. It was something deeper, an unshakable calm in the face of public shame. Children clutched their mother's hands. A jogger slowed, shaking his head, but kept running. Some whispered, some turned away, but no one spoke up. In that silence, the man's dignity stood taller than any voice. He was no stranger to moments like this, moments where judgment came before truth. Once, years ago, he had stood under another sun in another land. His uniform then was not a robe, not even a suit, but military fatigues caked with dust. He remembered the sting of desert winds, the smell of burning oil, the crack of distant gunfire. In those days, he carried not only his weapon, but the weight of young men who never came home. He wrote their names in his heart, each one a scar that no eye could see. He had sent letters to grieving families, his words trembling with sorrow yet steady with duty. And though the battles ended, the echoes stayed. Back home, he carried himself with quiet strength. His neighbors saw only a man walking to work each morning, but they did not see the memories he carried or the discipline that guided his every step. He had endured loss, sacrifice, and nights haunted by faces he could never forget. So when steel cuffs pressed into his wrists, it was not the first time he had felt the weight of injustice. The park emptied slowly, leaving behind the hushed whispers of those too afraid to speak. He was taken away, his silence unbroken, his gaze steady. In that stillness lay a storm no one could yet see. The next day arrived with marble hallways echoing under polished shoes. The courthouse was alive with its usual rhythm, papers shuffling, voices murmuring, doors swinging shut. And then, without warning, the doors opened wider than usual. He entered, not in chains, not in shame, but robed in black, the symbol of justice draped across his shoulders. The room stilled. Officers who had held him down the night before now struggled to breathe as recognition cut deep. He did not gloat. He did not scold. His presence alone was thunder enough. Taking his seat at the bench, he let the silence linger. Then, with a calm voice that carried farther than any shout, he spoke. There is a dignity that no handcuffs can take away. There is a strength that no misunderstanding can break. And there is a truth that always rises, no matter how deep it is buried. The words fell heavy, each one a stone of unshakable honor. The courtroom sat in silence, but this silence was different. It was not the silence of bystanders. It was the silence of awe, of respect long overdue. One by one, people rose to their feet. Even those who had watched in the park and said nothing felt the weight of the moment. The officers lowered their eyes, their pride dissolving into humility. Justice that day was not written on paper. It was written in hearts. A quiet man, once pressed into the dirt, now stood taller than ever, not through anger, but through patience, dignity, and truth. The measure of a man, he continued, is not how he stands when applauded, but how he rises when pressed into the ground. Those words would leave the courthouse and echo far beyond. They would be retold at dinner tables, whispered in classrooms, and remembered in parks where children played. A story not of vengeance, but of respect. Not of anger, but of honor. The man did not need applause. His silence had spoken louder than any crowd, and through him, the city learned that power is not always in the voice. It is in the strength to endure, the courage to rise, and the truth that can never be chained. To those listening now, what does silent dignity mean to you? Share your thoughts in the comments and let us know where you're watching from. Subscribe for more stories that honor the quiet heroes who walk among us every day.